Hey everyone, Michelle here, the Brave Homeschooling Mama. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, a little bit about myself. I am a school teacher turned homeschool mom. I have two kids, a 13-year-old and a 5-year-old, and I love to make homeschooling videos for new homeschooling parents to encourage them and to motivate them in this amazing homeschooling journey. Today I have a really fun video for you all. I am joining some other amazing YouTube homeschool moms, and we are going to be sharing our books, the books that we're going to be reading with our children for the 2019-2020 school year. So after you're done watching this video, make sure you check the playlist below and also check all the ladies channel. For this video I am joined by The Simple Rugged Path, The Diary of a Homeschool Mama, Sodbuster Living, Bytes of Memory, Creative 2x Mom, Joyful Noise Living, and Faith Through Arrows. So make sure you go ahead and check all these ladies out. Subscribe to their channels because they have some amazing homeschool content and you are going to love them. So for this school year, I already chose the books that we are going to be reading. I asked my daughter what books she wanted to read. I try to give her some options, but I have talked a little bit about my daughter's a reluctant learner. She does not enjoy school very much, so she told me to pick the books that I thought she was going to enjoy. And she told me, Mom, I usually enjoy the books that you pick. You know how to pick books for me. So she let me pick all the books that we are going to be reading. So I took all the books that except 3 are all part of the new the Arrow Guide and Boomerang subscription. So all these books that I'm going to be picking, that I picked for my daughter, have either an Arrow Guide or a Boomerang attached to it from Brave Writer. And if you don't know what an Arrow Guide or a Boomerang Guide from Brave Writer are, they are literature guides that you pair with a book, and you work with your students on grammar and spelling, reading comprehension, and some literary elements. And this is what we use for a major part of our grammar studies and for reading comprehension. So I took the things that she enjoyed, the things that she likes to learn about. So she loves and enjoys learning about African American history. So a lot of the books that I picked about African American history, I try to find books that I know she'll be able to relate to the character, and books maybe there's somebody the same age as she is. So I try to find things that I know she's going to enjoy. I don't want to have to read something that I know is going to be boring for her because she's not going to get anything out of the book, or something that I don't enjoy because then I'm not going to show excitement for the book either. So I try to find things that I know we're both going to enjoy. I'm going to have her this year try to read some of them independently. Maybe have her I do some read aloud, and then she'll read it independently and I'll read it independently, and we'll come back and talk about it. So I'm going to try some different things. In the past I have read all the books to her, and because that's the way she learns better, when somebody reads to her. But I think she's getting to that age where she can start reading some of the books. And and also, like I was saying, I can read, maybe one day I'll read aloud, and the next day I'll ask her, okay, how about you read 2 chapters on your own? I'll read them on my own, and let's come back and talk about them. So there's different ways that I can approach this school year, and I'll come back and talk to you all later on about how I'm going to approach this. So the first book that we chose, it's actually 3 books from a series. This is from the March series, and these books were written by John Lewis, Andrew Aiden, and Nate Powell, and these are about the civil rights movement. It's a recount from Congressman John Lewis, and he lived through the civil rights movement, and this is just his account of his story. And so the book 1, I'm going to pair with a Boomerang. This is the only one that has a Boomerang, but I also bought the book 2 and book 3. And one of the great things about this book, are graphic novels, and my daughter loves reading graphic novels. So I thought this would be a great way to start our school year with a graphic novels that she can read independently. I'm going to read it first, before we start school, and then I'm going to have her read it, and then we're going to go through the Boomerang Guide together. So as you can see, there's all a graphic novel, and she, like I said, she loves reading graphic novels, and I think graphic novels are a great way to get your reluctant reader, your reluctant learner reading. And this might be a little more, she's a little bit older to be able, to handle what, these books are about. It's about, civil rights movement and everything that the African Americans had to go through, during that time period. So I'm excited about reading this with her, and excited about how she's going to do as she reads them independently. The next book I have is Jerry Spinelli, Stargirl. And I picked this one because the character seemed like Mia could relate to the character. It's about a teenager. So I'm going to read a little bit from the back so you can see what the book is about. It says Stargirl. She's as magical as the desert sky, as strange as her pet rat, as mysterious as her own name, and she captures Leo Borlaug's heart with just one smile. But when the students of Micah High turn on Stargirl for everything that makes her different, Leo urges her to become the very thing that can destroy her normal. It says, in a celebration of nonconformity, Newbery medalist Jerry Spinelli weaves a tense emotional tale about the perils of popularity and the inspiration of first love. So I think this will, my daughter will be, because of her age and the theme, I think she'll be able to relate to the story. So that's one of the reasons why I picked Stargirl for us to read. And this one, I might read it to her because it is a boomerang, guys. So it is for the older, for high school, like, upper middle school and high school. And I think I might read this one to her, but I think she will really enjoy it. Next one I have, this one's going to be, we're going to try to read this one in October for Hispanic Heritage Month, and it's called Mercy Suarez Changes Gears. And I'm going to read a little bit of this. It says, sixth grader Mercy Suarez doesn't have a big house or take fancy vacations like other kids at Seaweed Pines Academy. She's a scholarship student who lives in their extended family in 3 little houses they call Las Casitas. But the film feels different this year, and not just a school where Queen Bee Edna Santos set her sights on Mercy's school-assigned Sunnyside buddy, Michael Clark. At home, Mercy's beloved grandfather, Lolo, has been acting strange, falling from his bike, calling people from the wrong names, and getting angry over nothing. So, like my daughter, she's half African American, half Hispanic, so she can be able to relate to the characters in the story. And her great grandfather just passed away from Alzheimer's, and the grandfather in here has Alzheimer's. So I think, again, not everything like she's like the character, but she can relate to some things in the book, and that's so important for her to be able to enjoy a story. Next one, and this is also from, like, all these books that I have showed you except March are the ones that were the arrow guides in the book and the boomerang picks for this school year from Brave Writer. The next one is the Vanderbeekers of 141st Street, and it says, it's 5 days before Christmas, and the Vanderbeekers' children should be dreaming about sugar plums and presents. But when their landlord mysteriously refuses to renew their lease, the 5 siblings must find a way to change his mind before New Year's. All they have to do is show him how wonderful they are, right? But as very well-intentioned plan goes comically awry, what the Vanderbeekers ultimately need is a Christmas miracle. Funny, heartfelt, and as lively as any street in Harlem, this cozy family novel is about the connections we make and the unexpected twists and turns life can take. And for now, what was reading from this book, it doesn't say it here, but I think it is a biracial family. So again, something that she can relate to, and it's Christmas. So I think she'll enjoy this one. I heard great things about this book. Next one I have Pie by Sarah Weeks, and this one looks really fun. It says, when Alice and Polly, the Pie Queen of Ipswich, passes away, she takes with her the secrets of her world's most famous pie crust recipe. Or does she? In her will, Polly leaves the recipe to her extraordinary, fat, remarkably disagreeable cat Lardo, and then leaves Lardo in the care of Alice. So this lady, she passes away and leaves all her pie recipes to her cat. So my daughter loves cats, so she's gonna find that funny. And so I think this will be a good funny story to read. And there's pie recipes in almost every chapter, so we'd be able to make allergy-friendly pies with Mia and also with my son. The next one that I have 2 books here. They're both also about African American history. We have Stella by Starlight. And this one we're going to try to read in February. It says Stella lives in the segregated South in Bumblebee, North Carolina, to be exact about it. Some stores she can go into, some stores she can't. Some folks are right pleasant, others are a lot less. To Stella, it sorts of events out, and heck, the clan hasn't bothered them for years. One late night, later than she should ever been up, much less wandering around outside, Stella and her little brother see something that they're never supposed to see, something that in the first flicker of change to come, change not welcome by any stretch of the imagination. Okay, so this one is by Sharon M. Draper, Stella by Starla, and this one is called Unbound. It says, the day Grace is called from the slave cabins to work in the big house, Mama makes her promise to keep her eyes down. Uncle Jim cautions her to keep her thoughts tucked private in her mind, or they could bring a whole lot of trouble and pain. When her voice escapes without warning, it sets off a terrible chain of events that prove Uncle Jim's words true. Suddenly, Grace and her family must run. Deep in a forbidden wilderness, they face deadly animals, patty rollers, and the uncertainty of ever finding freedom. And this one is written by Anne A. Burke, and this one is a novel in verse. So I think this one might be one I'm going to have her read independently, and this one will be when I try to read in March. So it'll become kind of at the end of the school year, and I think she'll really enjoy. So those are the books that I have. We might pick some other ones to read here and there, but these are the ones that I have planned, and I probably will do some book parties with a lot of these books. And like I said, we're going to pair these books with an arrow or a boomerang for the school year. And I try to find books that I think she'll enjoy. I'm excited about reading these books myself. I am so excited. I'm going to read some the March book 1, 2, and 3 first on my own, and I'm going to have her read that one on her own. As the school year goes through, I'll come here and talk about what we're doing. I might give you I'll talk about the book parties that we're planning. So I'm really excited about this school year. So, and thank you so much for watching, and also make sure you check the playlist so you can see all the books that the ladies that are participating in this collaboration are reading. Also, make sure, if you haven't done so, make sure you follow me on Facebook and on Instagram if you want to see a little bit more of day-to-day homeschool life. That's where I post a lot of my day-to-day, what we're reading, what we're doing. So go ahead and make sure you check me out on there also. I will see you all soon. Bye.